Christy's going to go ahead and come up and join me. This is the sort of memory kind of sharing, story time kind of moment. We had a suspicion that it would be kind of a few minutes of awkward silence while people decided what they were going to say. So Christy and I went ahead and prepared something to get us started. And then when we're done, think about it. So while we're talking, think about where your talking is going to be, and then it can be your turn. Dear Justin, I have sometimes heard people say that you are a force of nature. I never used quite those words to paint you for others, but I should have. You were a powerful mountain wind, tearing across and down the divide on your skis, tossing your delight and adrenaline behind you, like so many snowflakes in your wake. You were the stubborn, determined, persistent, relentless river that over a millennia forms a canyon. You are a coyote, endlessly curious and passionately playful. You are a cliff face, sheer, challenging, seemingly impenetrable, unclimbable, sharp, abrupt, stoic, solid. You are a cave, your beauty sometimes hidden, echoing a subterranean story that was often too deep for others to reach. You were a wildfire, your heat at times burning those who got too close, other times creating the singularly perfect conditions for a seed, for a person to burst open and grow. You were a wolf, instinctively knowing what those in your pack needed to survive and, to the best of your ability, meeting that need, whatever it was. Sitting together in silence with someone grieving, a moment of eye contact, of stopping to truly see a person, a load of firewood, a sarcastic remark, $5, encouraging someone to move out of their comfortable space and challenge themselves, a pie, a listening ear, a kick in the ass, a hug, a loaf of bread, a shared laugh. You were a saguaro, prickly, pointed, impossible, yet sheltering those determined enough to slip between the spines. You were an earthquake, every step, every smile, every encounter, a tremor to shake the complacent and banal. You were a tornado, blazing a path of your own making with speed, spontaneity, and stamina. You were a thunderhead, deep, rich, intense, mighty. You were the lightning. You were the lightning, a brilliant flash that lit up the world. You hummed with it, and when confined to one place for too long, you arced from one side to the room to the other with it, from one side of town to the other with it, and eventually from one side of the continent to the other. You were the lightning, an energy so transformative that it can change sand to glass, wood to charcoal, forests to ash, darkness to light, life to death, strangers to friends, friends to family. And so it was that pieces of your family sat together on our old green couch on the night that we learned of your death. As we cried, as we laughed, as we remembered, as we railed, as we toasted your life with tears staining our cheeks and our hearts screaming your name into the darkness. As we tried to wrap our grief and love around the echo that had once been your vibrating, beating presence, we asked ourselves, where did that energy go? What happens to the wind, to the snow, to the heaving earth plates when the time for movement has passed? Where does that energy go? The answer, I believe, is up, is out, is over and under and through. That lightning found the lightning within you. It found it, it amplified it, it fractured it into uncountable atoms and spread them all over the world. You are everywhere, brother of my heart. Every mountain summit, every cliff face, every blossom, every bowl of mashed potatoes and pint of ice cream, every hollow cavern, every adventure, every cup of Kathmandu chai, every rock, every rainbow, every vein of sparkling treasure, every empty stretch of road, every frozen waterfall, every bird song, every hug, every smile, every flash of lightning. I love you. So if you have a cup, or a spoon, or a fork, or your hand, or your elbow, raise it as a toast to Justin Short, a man who, despite a professed hatred of people, certainly loved and was loved by many. To Justin. Amen.
So true.
Do you want to do it? You do it. Okay, Christy's not as loud as me, so you have to be quiet.
Out of my comfort zone. Okay.
The way he wanted it.
Right?
Alright. June 9th, 2019 is a day we will all remember. When I had heard, I confirmed the terrible news through Justin's Facebook account. And in doing so, I saw a post from his mom, and I reached out to you. I just needed to know that you are not alone. During one of our talks into the night, I told you a story. I met Mark 13 years ago, and at some point he had met Justin. I don't remember him not being around, so I had stories. I told you about our wedding in 2010. Justin had arrived at the mountain house early with Nikki to help set up. He said he couldn't stay long, and in a whirlwind of Justin, he set up tables and chairs, and making sure everything was done on time. He stayed during the ceremony and waited around long enough to tell us he had to leave. And after saying goodbye, he ran into the woods on foot. And it had meant a lot that even though he had somewhere else to be, he still made sure that he was there for us. Afterwards, you had responded, "These stories of his kindness have lessened my sorrow." And I hope you realize what it means for a mom to hear. Jennifer, if one story helps lessen your sorrow, then why not several more? I placed flyers in all of the Nederland businesses, and Facebook messages were sent. I'm sure everybody's heard from me, hopefully. Word spread from friends to friends. And I gathered stories from anyone who was able to contribute. This book was created through the love that we all shared for your son. And as you hold it close to you, know that you're holding all of us. And I want you to be proud of the son that you raised. So there's empty pages in here for you to fill, but we have close to 100 pages already for you.
And if you have not yet and you want to contribute, we did bring paper. I'm sure we also brought pens. Dad's got pens.
My dad has pens.
So if you need paper, I'm just gonna
Oh my
put it
gosh.
discreetly over here. Feel free to write and
Oh wow.
fill in the last little pieces. And I hope you guys were all thinking about your little piece that you want to share. If you don't
Oh
want
my
to come
God.
stand in the front because it's awkward and
I don't
weird,
even know how you do
that's
this.
fine. Speak where you are.
I just don't.
As much as Justin wanted to push us out of our comfort zone, we also want you to be comfortable. So
God, you know? Look at this. I
there you
know.
have it.
This is the first page.
He also never would get up in front of all of us.
No.
Oh, Christy, I can't believe you guys did this. I don't know. But my goodness.
Maybe at 4 a.m.
After taking a nap in the dog bed.
Justin, go here.
Brenda couldn't tell that she sent the pictures that she had.
So, Justin lived with us this past winter for a couple months. And we had offered him to live with us in the winters, you know, instead of his outdoor home for the last 4 years. And he's like, I'm fine, I like it at my house. And we knew not to push. And he wanted to come here. Well, this winter he chose to live with us for a couple months, and we knew and cherished every day of it because we knew he preferred the woods always. You know, to be within 4 walls was outside his comfort zone typically. But he chose to stay here, and he seemed to really enjoy himself here, and that made us so happy. You know, we had some of the greatest talks, dinners, cooking sessions, baking sessions, hikes, very intense conversations that I will never forget or take for granted the rest of my life. Some of the most intense conversations I've ever had with anybody in my life. And it was probably the best time of my life so far. But while he was here, he helped us with so much. This house is a little rustic, to say the least. We have built-in waterfalls. In the winter months, lots and lots of wood is chopped to keep this house warm. It's still very cold, but we try, you know. So he actually taught my husband how to use a chainsaw. He was awesome. He was so meticulous and so careful and so proud of his skills, and you know, he taught Jeff how to use it correctly and with respect, and Jeff really appreciated that because my husband, you know, he takes big machinery serious. You know, this is a serious piece of machinery. You gotta respect it. And they had a great time. Jeff learned so much, and I think Justin really enjoyed sharing his knowledge because he loved to share his knowledge, and he was knowledgeable about so many things, you know. So, but this was one thing that him sharing that with Jeff was huge for us. It was our warmth. It was keeping our family safe in the winter, you know. But one of the trees they cut down had this beautiful heart-shaped log on it, and Justin cut these heart-shaped strips of wood, and Jeff stained one for me, and it's up there. And we wanted to stain one for you and give it to you. Justin made this, and showing a little bit of his sensitive side, which we didn't always see all the time. But this is for you to take home with you. We love you, and we loved him so much. Thank you.